Welcome back to another YouTube Tuesday. My name is Derek, and today we're going to be watching a video done by Edgar from the channel Edgar, iRepair. He has excellent content when it comes to understanding how to troubleshoot and diagnose motherboard issues. Today we're going to be watching one of his more recent videos that he's done in English, where he's going to walk us through step by step how to diagnose an issue with an iPhone that isn't powering on. So let's get into the video.
Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to give you a masterclass of iPhone power sequence, okay? I have this iPhone right here. This is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. And this iPhone, if I'm going to put, you can check right here, okay? So check this, okay? I'm going to press the power button from my tool, okay? I'm going to press, see, it's just give us a 70, and then it's don't do anything. 70, and then 100, and then it's just restarting, okay? I'm going to disconnect the screen. And also, I'm going to disconnect the power button. Okay, so now I'm going to show you with the graphic. Okay, I'm going to start a graphic right here, and I'm going to connect the cable.
For those of you that don't know what he was doing there, he just had connected a power supply to the motherboard, and it has a nice trigger button that basically simulates the power button so that you can prompt it to boot, so you can see if it's drawing the right current. And you could see that it obviously wasn't. It was spiking to like 90 ohms or some small number. And then now he's going to use an oscilloscope so we can see what it's actually doing, so we can get a visual of the power that it's drawing. And this will hopefully help us kind of isolate the issue. A lot of the times there are some kind of key failure points on these phones where you can recognize this is more than likely going to be an issue, for example, with the NAND or the CPU or the PMIC, depending on how it's presenting when you're trying to boot it up. Sometimes it's a common failure amongst a specific model and a reoccurring issue where it only pulls a certain value, like 0.05 on the power supply, and then it shuts off and comes back on. Like I, for example, know that that's almost always going to be an issue with the NAND. This one being 0.09 or whatever it was pulling, could be the NAND, could be the CPU, could be another issue with the board. So let's see what he has to say.
Okay, and now I'm going to try to connect the phone, okay? So I'm going to press the power button right there, and I'm going to go and show you the graphic, okay? See, this is the graphic, see? It just showed me 90 and bloop, 90, see? Okay, this is a very, very good case, okay? We're going to learn a lot from this case, okay? So this is the consumption on this phone. It's just going out to 90 and then just restart, okay? And this case can be a lot of things, okay? But I'm going to show you which steps you guys had to follow, because I don't care any consumption is. I always follow the step-by-step. If you follow the step-by-step, you're going to learn, and you can apply this to fix so many phones, okay? So the first thing is always we had to do just a board view. We had to check, for example, things like what's wrong right here, why they do this. Also, see, they remove the protection right here. They remove the protection right here.
You can tell somebody's done quite a bit of searching to see if they can troubleshoot this issue, removing all of the underfill that's covering all of the the different resistors, capacitors, diodes, filters, all of the things that are surrounding these connectors, to see if they could troubleshoot it. So someone's put in quite a bit of time into this one. Let's see if he can figure out why they couldn't figure it out.
They are checking right here. They already removed all this area right here. See, some people already tried to fix this phone, okay? We have maybe an LDO. It's broken right there, okay? See, they already checked some resistance, and okay, perfect, okay? We don't see like too many damage, but okay, this is the first thing. So the first thing, always first, the first thing that we always have to do, this is going to be a masterclass iPhone boot, okay? Perfect, okay. So the first thing is visual view. This is the first thing, okay? We already do that. Okay, now the second thing is the first stage. The first stage is the one I call principal lines. This is the first stage, okay? So when we connect our power supply to the phone, remember, you guys had to check the principal lines. In this case, just I'm going to change cable because it's easy for me to do it with this. Okay, I'm going to connect it. Okay, so when you guys connect the battery, okay, and if we open this, when we just connect the battery, so the first thing that we have right here is VDD main. So we have to check if VDD main is on the board, okay? So we're going to check right here VDD main, okay? So I'm going to come and I'm going to check the voltage. I have 4.2 voltage on my power supply, okay? So I had to check this and how much I have. See, 4.1, okay, that's enough, okay? And then we had to check for another line. The another line is this one, maybe? No, is a VDD boost, okay? VDD boost is the second line that we had to check. So I'm going to check on this capacitor if I have the VDD boost, okay? I'm going to come right here and I'm going to check this capacitor, okay? And this capacitor, I have the same voltage, okay? That's perfect, okay? I'm going to disconnect my board and I'm going to check now the same thing, but in dial mode, okay? Just to see if I have some leak over there, because sometimes you can have the voltage, but you don't have the current enough to the phone to power on, okay? So that's two different things. Sometimes we have voltage, but we don't have enough current, so that's why we have to check if we have some leak on these lines, okay? Okay, so I'm going to check this one, see? 360, that's good. And I'm going to check this one, okay? And I have 330, okay? That's good. Okay, perfect. So this is the first stage, and we already checked the principal lines. In this case, this iPhone comes with a VCC main or VDD main, and then VDD boost, okay? VDD boost. We already checked voltage, and we already checked dial mode on both lines, okay? So if we have these ones good, we already have the first stage working good. And remember, this is working like this. We have our battery right here, and we have the principal lines, okay? The principal lines. These lines come to one important component that we're going to call this one PMU, right? Okay, so we have the principal lines, and the principal lines come right here because the principal lines are the ones are going to give the power for the PMU, okay, to start working, okay? Remember the PMU needs one signal to start working, and this signal is going to be the enable, okay, the power button. So in the power button, we had to have 1.765, okay? We already checked the power button and we have this voltage good. Sometimes you are going to have, for example, 3 voltage on the power button, so the problem is going to be the PMU, okay? Because the PMU is the one in charge to provide this power for the power button. Okay, so right now we know that the principal lines are coming to our PMU, and the PMU is working like that. Okay, for example, the PMU is working like this. We have box, for example, block 1, block 2, block 3, and also, for example, LDO 1, okay? But this, imagine inside to this component is like a switch, okay? I'm going to explain this one in the easy way, okay? It's going to be a switch, okay? But this switch, when we just connect our battery, the PMU is off, okay? So the PMU is not working. So that's why I always told you guys, when you have a PMU that is getting hot, just connecting your power supply, it's like 98% that the problem is going to be the PMU. But remember, when you press the power button and you start seeing the PMU is getting hot, that probably is not going to be the PMU because the PMU is start working and providing some power to another circuit.
Yeah, this is exactly what I see a lot of the times. You know that there's going to be an issue with the power management IC if it automatically gets hot when the power supply is connected. If it only gets hot when you prompt it to boot, then it still could be bad, but more than likely what's happening is a line that's connected to it or that it triggers is causing it to heat up because it's the first guy in the line of defense where all of the current's running through it, so it's going to get really, really hot. So just because something gets hot doesn't mean it's the culprit. If it's a capacitor, for example, that gets hot, it's almost always, or I think always, is the issue. So basically right now he's checked the three lines. He's checked the battery, which happens to be main on this one, and the boost line. So those are the main lines, and typically when you have a phone that's dead, you'll find the issue on those lines. Unless it's an issue with the NAND, an issue with the CPU, or an issue with the PMIC, or a line that comes, one of the buck lines or LDL lines that come off of the PMIC. So let's let him explain what he's going through.
Right? So that's why sometimes it's getting hot. Imagine if you have, for example, if you have a short in the buck 1, for example, and if you have a capacitor in short, so when the PMU is on, this circuit is going to provide power to this line. And if you have a short right here, so the PMU is going to start sending a lot of current to this line, and that's why it's going to getting hot in this part. But the problem is not the PMU. The problem is going to be another line because the PMU is working now. Okay, you have to learn this one because so many technicians do a lot of mistakes. Okay, so right now we have the PMU off, okay, and the PMU already provide the 1.765 voltage for our power button, right? Okay, so when we press the power button, these lines go to 0 voltage for a few minutes, and this is the signal that the PMU is waiting. On the oscilloscope, we're going to see something like this: 1, 0, and 1. Okay, so this is the signal the PMU is waiting for to start on. Okay, when the PMU start on, okay, the PMU start closing this circuit, okay, and they're going to provide the voltage for the PMU. Remember the PMU is a circuit that regulate the voltage. For example, if we have 4 voltage right here, that means if the PMU is a regulator, they're going to give us on the exit of the PMU low voltage. For example, we're going to have 1.8 voltage, 3 voltage, 1.2 voltage, 3.3 voltage. Okay, we're going to have a less power, a less voltage from the principal lines. And these lines from the PMU is going to sometimes go to the CPU. Some line is going to be for the cameras. Sometimes some voltage is going to be for our NAND. Some voltage for Face ID, etc., right? So the PMU is going to provide the power for every circuit, okay? This is the good explanation for the PMU, okay? So now that we already checked our PMU, so now we are going to press the power button, and now we're going to try to see if the PMU is working. Edgar, but the phone is on and off. So when the phone is on, we can check voltage because the PMU is trying to work, right? But something is just saying the PMU, no, I'm bad, so please just protect yourself and turn off, and that's why we have this on and off, okay? So now I'm going to bring this, okay, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to put to ground to my multimeter. I'm going to press the power button. Where's my tweezer? I'm going to press the power button. Okay, the phone is start working. See the voltage is 60 and boom, 60 and boom. Okay, now we're going to come right here and we are going to open the schematics for the PMU. Okay, here's the PMU. So the PMU, sometimes we have 4 pages. See, PMU 3 or 4. Okay, so right here we are in the LDO. So I'm going to start with the
So if you don't know what he's doing so far, right now he's got it connected and it's going to continually try to boot. So the phone is, in essence, turning on. It's not staying on, it's turning off, turning on, turning off, turning on. But this will allow him to test the individual lines coming off of the power management to see if there's a specific line that's causing it not to boot. So what we're going to be doing now is most likely going to the schematic and jumping back and forth between the schematic and the board view so that we can see what we need to be testing on the schematic, and it'll show us where to look on the motherboard, on the board view side of things. That's why you need kind of both in order to use it. You can't just look at the board view all the time to try to isolate issues. I guess you can click around and guess. But when you have the schematic and you understand how to read it, which doesn't take it's not too complicated once you start understanding what the symbols mean, what the ins and outs, and if you understand what the capacitors are, the coils, filters, resistors, diodes. Once you understand what those symbols mean, and then you can read the voltages, the power, whether or not something has a fixed power or a range of power that it can supply, you start to be able to actually take that knowledge and apply it to the phone by testing it with an oscilloscope or with a multimeter. So let's see which lines he starts with. And this is a really good way to troubleshoot a phone that isn't obvious as to what's going on with it.
With the box, okay? Here's the box, okay? So now I'm going to start checking every block, okay? For example, this one, PPCPU core. This is a block that can provide 15 amps, okay? That's so crazy. That's the very interesting part of the PMU. The PMU can provide a lot of current because sometimes we are playing video games and the CPU need more current, so they can provide this current. Not like 50 amps straight. No, they are going to have like a coils and then they're going to provide current in a stage, okay? So if we have this line, okay? If we have this line, so this one told me you can have 0.4 voltage or 1.15 voltage, okay? So I'm going to check this line. I'm going to check, I can check this in this capacitor, 1, 2, 3, okay? So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to put voltage and I'm going to check right here, okay? See, okay, 7 is on, then off. The 7 and then off. Okay, perfect. I have my first book is working, okay? Now another one, okay? This one. The GPU. Remember the GPU is a line to provide the video for our phone. This line we can't check. We're going to learn how to check this line later, okay? But that's not that's not a problem because when we have a GPU is not working, sometimes we have logo when the phone is entered to the menu, it's just restarting. But this one we don't have even the Apple logo, okay? So I'm going to leave this one and I'm going to check this one. This one told me PP SOC S1. I can have 67 millivolts or 800 millivolts, and I can check right here. 800. So right here. Okay, see, 700. That's enough. Okay, 700. That's enough. Okay, I have our second thing working. Okay, now another one. 1.8. Okay, I can check right here. See, 1.8. I have 1.8. Okay, see, 1.8. That's good. Now we have this one. Check this one right here. Right here. 1.8. See, 1.8. Perfect. Okay, now another one.
So as you can see, what he's doing is he's basically going through one by one. Process of elimination. What's the value that I need to have for this line? Okay, where's that line on the board? Let's test and see if it has the value. It has the value, let's move on to the next one. And what's really nice about this process is it becomes really simple at that point. Once you've organized these steps of understanding how to diagnose board issues that are not obvious, where you can break it down to, let me cover these bases first, then we can move on to, second base, then to third base, then to fourth. You can, when you've organized it in that fashion, it becomes really simple. And I mean, it's still complicated, but it becomes a simple process of eliminating potential issues. And what's really cool about it is, over time, if this is something that you get into, what you'll find is that certain failures will always present with a specific value pulling from the power supply. So with experience, you'll say, it's pulling this current. I've seen that before. What was it? It was an issue with the NAND. It was an issue with the PMIC. It was an issue with an LDO line or whatever it was. And you can look straight there and you can say, that is the issue that I saw before. Is it the same issue? It is or it isn't. And you can go from there. Let's see where he goes from here.
1.8. I'm going to maybe later make a video talking about this line, okay? Because I love this line. I can have 1.8 right here. I'm going to check 1.8 right here. See, 1.8. Now, touch, it's okay. NAND 1.2. I can check it in this capacitor. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. Holy moly.
Sometimes you have to dig up the black silicon underfill to uncover the component that you need to. Some of it's kind of like an epoxy, depending on if it's like surrounding the CPU, for example. In which case, you may need to end up using some hot air and a scalpel to kind of pick at it. Otherwise, you might knock off the component you're trying to scrape at. So, some of these softer black, like that's on this component, you can just literally just scrape at it with a tweezer tip or a blade or even the probe for the multimeter, and you'll be able to pick it away without issue.
Right here. No? Oh, the phone is off. Sorry. The cable was disconnected. Okay, I'm going to press one more time. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to check right here. See? 1.2 right there. Okay, perfect. Now, another voltage for NAND. I can check in this little capacitors right here. Oh, I can check it in the corner right here. How 900 millivolts right there. Okay, perfect. I already checked this one, so I'm going to continue in this side. Okay, we have 1.1 voltage right here. I'm going to come back to another side. And I'm going to check in these capacitors. And these capacitors I have, okay, right here. See? There is the problem. I don't have, we don't have, see? I don't have the voltage. Okay, I don't have the voltage. I don't have this one. That's so weird. I don't have this one. And this one provides power for our CPU and also for this. And also, yeah, this right here, right? Is these capacitors. These babies right here, 1.2. See? I don't have the voltage. And see the current? See the blue numbers? The phone is on, right there, it's on. And we don't have 1.1 voltage. Houston, we have our problem on the book 4. Okay, we have a problem right there. So we don't have that book. I'm going to put my multimeter in diode mode and I'm going to check this line, okay? I'm going to check this in diode mode. So this is ground, and this one is the positive. The positive, 185 millivolts. Okay, I'm going to bring, maybe I have a board. How's my English going? I'm taking classes for English because I want to improve my English to you guys, to teach you in the, okay, I have a board right here and I'm going to check this line, okay? I have another board right here and we have, this one is crazy. 600? No. Also bad. I know this line don't have that voltage, okay? I know for sure. I'm going to check this one. See, 300. But let me just bring another one. Just give me 1 second, okay?
It's always a good idea, and you'll probably get a collection, a graveyard of motherboards, where you can go in and double check the values, because sometimes the schematics or the board view don't necessarily tell you what you should be reading, and a lot of it comes with experience, but sometimes referring to a donor board that hopefully has the right values on it can help you troubleshoot and diagnose, hey, this is within the range it's supposed to be, or it's completely off where it needs to be at.
To call my guy. Okay, so I have another one right here. I'm going to check this line, okay? No. I think this line is low resistance, okay? I think this line is low resistance. I'm not sure. I'm going to open a tool that I always use. This is Rat Helper. I'm going to put this right here. The Rat Helper is a tool that I use to check these lines, okay? So for example, I'm going to come right here and I'm going to, Rat Helper. Okay, now I'm going to come to iPhone 11. Okay, iPhone 11 Pro Max. And encendido, that means, and we can start checking this, okay? So we already checked those. We had to check the oscillator. I'm going to check this one and see this one. Okay, see? This one told me, the software told me we had to have this voltage, okay? This one say, okay, a voltage start in the first seconds, okay? Yeah. So the diode is good because it's 100 millivolts, so that's good. Okay, that's good. And this is an SMB.
This is really cool to have access to. Está en español, but if you know how to speak or read Spanish, this is definitely something that'll help. And even if you don't know how to read or speak Spanish, I think it's pretty obvious what you need to be looking for, the values, and we've got like a Google Translate, so puedes hablar español.
Current measurement. I'm going to leave this one, okay? And I'm going to continue. Maybe the bug 4 start in seconds later, so that's why we don't have it. I'm going to try to see if this phone is working, just to check this. Just let me try. I'm not sure if this one works. This works. Okay, just let me check it. Yeah, see, I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to put this ones, and I'm going to check. See, and I have voltage, one voltage, and the another one I don't have anything, and this one I don't have anything. Connect the cable, and I'm going to bloop right there. Is working. Okay, now I'm going to. Oh, there you go, right there. I don't know why I don't have the voltage before. I don't know why I don't have this voltage before. That's so weird. Okay, I had that voltage already. Okay, sorry guys. I'm going to continue with this. Okay. So we have this one, the another one, PP something. This one right here. I'm going to check this one. Okay, we have something 700 millivolts. Another one right here, I think. Okay, 1.2. Another one SD RAM. This one. Okay, 700. That's good. Okay, another one. This one. So this one is right here. 700, that's good. Another one, this one, it's right here. Okay, perfect. See, perfect. Okay, another one. We already checked all these bugs, okay, and all these are good. This one is the VDD main. Remember, this is the entrance for the bugs, okay? So, for example, these lines provide power for the bug 8 and 11. This line provide power for bug 1, 5, and 6. This line provide bugs for power for lines bugs 2, 4, and 9, okay? And we also have some bugs right here. This one, I can check this one right here, okay? I have 400 something. See? 600 something, okay. This one, 5, okay, 700, that's good. And another one, this one, okay, 900 other, okay, 900 right here. Okay, the bugs are good. Now we have to check the LDOs, okay. The LDOs, these ones right here, okay. We're going to start with this one, 3.3. I don't know why.
So the buck lines typically have a range where you can have a specific value. It can be as low as a specific voltage or as high, another one. The LDO lines have a very specific, they want very specific voltage, so there won't be that type of fluctuation that you get with the buck lines. As you can see, the process is, although somewhat tedious, is pretty straightforward, line by line. And eventually what you'll do is you'll start to get an idea as to what lines are without even having to look at the schematics. You're going to know this line is this specific LDO line, or this is the buck line, or you'll start to understand, things will start to look familiar to you. When you start to understand the different circuits, you'll be able to actually look at other motherboards and say, that looks like this specific circuit. And it really helps, especially when new models come out, to be able to be the first one to really diagnose and fix issues, because at the time of release, there aren't schematics or board views available. Typically, what comes out first is the board view, and then what follows is the schematic, but sometimes that can be years after, or at least sometimes it feels like that. It can be years after it's released, where the schematic will finally be released. Up until that point, it's just trying to go off of your previous knowledge, or maybe working with other people in forums online to try to troubleshoot and diagnose issues according to what they've already found, sharing information and things like that. So
for me, it's too hard to say point. Okay, I have it right here. Okay, that's good. Another one, this one for the this one is this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, another one, 1, 2, perfect. Another one, this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, NAND, 1 voltage for the NAND. The phone is disconnected. See, we had to check all these one before we do anything, because sometimes some technicians, they just do this phone and, for example, in DFU mode, and they charge, and they put software and they give you error, and then start the mistakes, right? So that's why it's better to start in these paces, because and these steps, because when we are going to put software, we already know the principal lines are good, the LDOs are good, the bugs are good, so everything is good. So I mean, I can put software on this phone. Okay, so now another line. I told you this voltage for NAND. Okay, perfect. Display, I don't care. This one, I'm going to check the display just to see if it's not in short. But I think the display, no, I'm not going to check display. I'm going to check this one. 3 voltage right there. 3 voltage right here. 3 voltage right there. 1.10. And this one, okay, is this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, this one, the 1.8 always is the one I told you, right? Is the one is in the power button. So that one we already checked, okay? Okay, right there we had to put a 3 voltage display. The display is working in the 3rd stage, so that's why we don't have that one. This one also, the display, another one.
What's nice is you have things like this right here. It's surrounded with this red dotted box saying always. It's because that power button line always has to have power in order for the device to even recognize that you want it to boot up. So all the other lines will open up once it's been prompted to boot. So it's kind of nice to have the schematic give you hints as well to clarify, because sometimes it's hard to discern what things are, especially when a lot of the data points might be even in another language sometimes. So we're almost through with this video. I've obviously, if you haven't noticed, we've been watching it, I think, at 1.75 times the speed, so almost 2 times the speed. Hopefully that hasn't bothered too many of you. I'm curious to see whether or not he's actually going to be figuring this one out, just because we're getting towards the end of the video, if there's going to be a part 2. Let's see where he goes from here.
Okay, it's perfect. This one, I don't have that one. I'm not sure if we're going to have that one. See, I don't have it. That's enough. That's good, because sometimes we can check in this one. See, for example, this one don't show me this software that I had to have it right here, so that's why I don't put attention. Okay, this one, yes. Okay, my friend. So if I come back right here, I already check these ones. Okay, I check all the LDOs and all the books, and if we understand this, that means our PMIC is working fine, because our PMIC is trying to power on, but something before the power button is just telling the CPU, please stop working because we have a problem. Okay, so that's why in this case we have, for example, we have the 2nd stage. Okay, the 2nd stage is box and check LDOs. Okay, and this one we already checked this one, and the font is good. Okay, so that means right now we have to check the 3rd stage. And the 3rd stage, we are going to leave this one for another video. Okay, so right now we just checked the first 2 stages. Now we have to check the 3rd and the 4th stage to make a decision where is the problem on this one. Okay, but this is the stage. This is the step-by-step that you have to follow when you have an iPhone that is not powered. I don't care if I have an Apollo. I don't care if it's just giving me a 20 enough, if it's just giving me 70 enough. I don't care. I always follow these steps. Okay, see you in the next video. Just subscribe, share this video, and tell everyone Edgarito is coming back. Ciao.
All right, so it looks like there's a follow-up video. I highly recommend that you check it out, especially if you want to see how this one ends up. I'm guessing it's going to be either an issue with the NAND. Typically, I get a lower reading on the NAND, so it could be a CPU reball that's needed. An issue maybe with the RAM. Hard to say. But at this point, knowing that there are no issues with the PMU, the buck lines, the LDO, you can basically know that, okay, I can now put software on there and not have issues, at least trying to make sure we can install the software. If there is an issue with the NAND or the CPU, you're going to have errors that will pop up on 3Tools or iTunes. You're probably going to get error 4014, 4013. If there's an issue with, say, the CPU. There's a couple things that you can do to troubleshoot whether or not it's a NAND or not. For example, if you remove the NAND and you try to update the phone with iTunes or 3Tools, you should be able to get an Apple logo without the NAND if it's just a NAND issue. You take the NAND off, try that. If you get an Apple logo, obviously it'll fail because there's no NAND, no place to put the iOS. But if you get an Apple logo on the screen, then you know that it's an issue with the NAND. You can then replace the NAND or maybe reball the NAND and potentially have it work. It depends on if there was a cold joint somehow or not. But typically you have to replace the NAND, then you can go through the process of completely flashing the phone and you'll be able to restore functionality to it. However, if you pull NAND and you still have an issue, then it's most likely what's happened is there's an issue with separation, a cold joint under the CPU to the motherboard, which requires a reball, or there's potentially another issue that you'll have to troubleshoot there. But most of the time, you don't have to go this far and test all of those lines to find the issue. Most of the time, if you have a phone that's not booting, it's a particular component or particular line, and going through this step by step will help you troubleshoot, diagnose, and find that issue. There are some other tools that really help. A thermal camera, for example, It really helps to, once you found the shorted line, troubleshoot it. This obviously wasn't a short because it wasn't drawing a current as soon as you turned on the power supply or press the power button. It wasn't drawing a heavy amount. This is a different type of failure, but you don't really know why it's dead until you start troubleshooting in the first place. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. I know it was a long one. Tuesdays seem to be longer because some of the really good content out there tends to be long form. If you guys have a specific video that you'd like for me to review, leave a link to it in the comments below. I would heavily recommend you head on over to Edgar's channel and subscribe, because he's going to be dedicating more time to his English channel. If you speak Spanish, check out his Spanish channel, and even if you don't speak Spanish, check it out because you can learn a lot there. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.